Can everyone please come to the front, if you would? Move toward the front. Move toward the front. Good evening. My name is David Price, and yes, I'm the weather anchor at NBC. So when Cindy, Allyson, and Willa said about 8 or 9 months ago they wanted to have the event tonight, I said, "What are you talking about? There's going to be a snowstorm." And they didn't listen. But the great news is, how much breathing room do we have now in this room, right? Isn't it nice? It all works out. I want to welcome you all to our inaugural benefit. We have a remarkable night. We have a remarkable night, and Katie's here. We have an esteemed guest. We have amazing honorees, and I just want to kick it off and get things going because I know most of you have to plow. I want to begin by saying thank you to each and every one of you for coming out. It means a lot. It means a lot on any night, and tonight it means so much more. Let's begin this evening by giving a warm welcome to one of my good old friends, Willa Shallot, the chairman of the board and the co-chair and co-founder of Let's Win. Will?
I think the last time I saw Dave was in Rwanda, and I'm not kidding. Hi, I'm Willa Shallot. I'm a co-founder and board chair of Let's Win. Thank you all for coming tonight through this unbelievable weather. Anne Glauber loved extreme weather, so we really feel that she's with us tonight. We're honoring Anne tonight and Dr. Allyson Ocean, who is indomitable in any weather. So many of you here tonight firsthand know the reality of pancreatic cancer. So we couldn't call tonight's gathering a celebration, but we emphatically embrace it as a powerful expression of hope, especially the hope that others will be spared the pain we experience even as we continue to grow our groundbreaking program. Incredibly exciting progress is being made to conquer the disease every day, literally by the hour. And Let's Win is the first to announce and celebrate each and every breakthrough. Pancreatic cancer entered my life with hard force 4 years ago when my dearest friend Anne was told she had less than a year to live. Finding good news about pancreatic cancer was brutally difficult. Always the communicator, Anne looked up from her computer screen one day and said, "Pancreatic cancer's messaging is terrible. We have to re-message it." And thus, from Anne's beautiful mind, Let's Win was born. Anne outlasted pancreatic cancer for more than twice the time she'd been given. During those days, together with Dr. Ocean and Carrie Kaplan, we co-created what is today Let's Win, an unprecedented platform that enables doctors, scientists, and patients to share fast-breaking information on potentially life-saving treatments and clinical trials. This is Let's Win's Inaugural Benefit. As Dave just mentioned, we're incredibly grateful that all of you came out, really, really grateful that you all came out in this crazy weather to be with us tonight. We're actually really surprised and overwhelmed by the support we've received for this event. We have over 25 sponsors, and we raised donations that really vastly exceeded our expectations. So we're really humbled by that, and the money will go to very, very, very good use. So we thank you all, also the benefit committee and the Let's Win and RTM teams who work every day to create the content and the site. And so now, with that said, please help me welcome our founding executive director, Cindy Price-Gavin, whose energy, drive, heart, and brilliance amaze me every day. Cindy.
honor and privilege to serve as the founding executive director of Let's Win. It's really hard to imagine that it was just 3 short years ago when Dr. Ocean asked me to come to her office to meet her patient, Anne Glauber, to help her get her project off the ground. And just a few days later, towards the very end of my first conversation with Anne's best friend and the incredibly accomplished Willa Shallot, she closed by saying something to the effect of, "Anne and I have big dreams." And without hesitation, I said, "Well, that's just great, because Allyson and I only dream big. Because in the world of cancer, dreaming big means helping more families and patients." But I'm not sure any of us realized that just 2.5 years into Anne's project, Let's Win would be what it is today. Since our launch in May 2016, we have published over 250 unique science-driven stories about the latest treatment, research, and managing life during the disease. We have had over 200,000 users visit the site, and we have over 2,000 subscribers to our weekly alert each week. Our followers on social media grow each day, and our monthly community Pang Chat has reached over 100 million impressions with participation from around the world. Last year, we were inducted into the PR Hall of Fame, and earlier this fall, we received the prestigious honor from the Biden Cancer Initiative with the Cancer Leap Award for leadership through exemplary and awesome purpose. And we are just getting started. Throughout the evening, you will hear about the incredible advances that are being made in pancreatic cancer research. But the devastating reality is that without effective screening tests, the disease continues to strike without warning and does not discriminate. And even more disturbing is the fact that underserved populations such as Black and Latinos are at a higher risk of developing the disease. Let's Win is fully committed to honor Anne's wish that all patients have access to the best available care, regardless of race, color, demographic, or language. And I'm proud to share that we have partnered with the Elvin Howard Pancreatic Cancer Organization in Louisiana to help raise awareness and provide critical information to those who need it most. And I am super excited to share that earlier this morning, we went live in Espanol. The site has all of our original content in Spanish. We are confident that this will be a game changer to the over 40 million Spanish speakers in the U.S. And I want to personally thank our team for a heroic effort to make this possible. Gracias. That's what my brother said. None of this would have been possible without the support of the Lustgarten Foundation and our amazing scientific advisory board, led by my very dear friend, our honoree, Dr. Allyson Ocean. And now, I'd like to invite Willa and Allyson to the podium as we remember Anne.
I had the fortune to meet Anne Glauber shortly after she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Anne and I met doing work for domestic violence prevention. She was the co-founder of No More with me, the organization we created to end domestic violence and sexual assault.
Anne is my amazing sister. Anne and I, we shared a life together. Anne's my mom.
Anne was one of the smartest people I've ever met, and when she saw a problem, she wanted to solve it.
She was really remarkable her whole life, but especially so when she had cancer.
Anne put a purpose to to that experience.
Anne wanted to really understand the science. And then what was really special about Anne was that Anne wanted to open this door and empower other patients to do that.
It was really sad to lose Anne to this disease, but it was great to work with her on identifying new ways to fight the disease.
Anne said, everybody should know what I know. And that was really how Let's Win started.
That was her big penultimate project. She brought everything to the table for them.
Her hope was that people with pancreatic cancer could have a future.
And there were always obstacles to whatever she did, but she just pushed on.
At a time when she could have very easily just sat back, she still chose to care about others and to ensure that she could use all of her resources to make a difference.
I see my mom in the work that Let's Win is currently doing. And I know that she would be so proud of its impact, its mission, and what it does on a daily basis.
Please help me welcome Anne's daughter, Lily.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and braving this extreme weather tonight. I'm so moved to be here with all of you to celebrate Let's Win, to honor the incredible Dr. Allyson Ocean, and to remember my mother, Anne Friedman Glauber, whose vision set Let's Win in motion and whose legacy lives on in the work that Let's Win does every single day. As many of you in this room know, my mom was a true force, and her work on Let's Win and how she fought her illness was an expression of how she lived, with courage and intelligence and intensity and heart. As soon as my mom first understood just what she was up against with stage 4 pancreas cancer, she basically got right to work, intent on using her strong mind and her problem-solving gifts to find solutions. My mom and I often talked about the spiritual dilemma of circumstance, how we can't control what happens to us, only how we respond to it, what meaning we make of it. And in the face of this devastating diagnosis, my mom rose right up, determined to find a path forward, and not just for herself, but to build something that would extend and improve the lives of others. My mom was a visionary, and Let's Win is a final expression of so many of the lessons that she taught my brother and me. My mother never settled for the status quo in any arena. She sent me to Serbia for the long weekend when I was 15 for breaking my curfew in order to challenge my narrow adolescent worldview. And always, she encouraged us to live expansively, to push ourselves beyond the ordinary, to seek the fullness of our days, and to delve deeply into projects that matter. So it makes so much sense that the spirit of Let's Win is about sharing alternatives to the status quo and equalizing access to information and countering obstacles with strategy and creativity. I'm so proud of this organization and the many patients that it's helped already, and I'm honored to serve on its board and continue my mom's mission. I want to thank all of the scientists and doctors who devote their lives to improving outcomes for patients, with a particular acknowledgement to the invaluable work of Mark Resigliano, who helped so many and who was my mom's comrade and friend. And I want to thank all of the people in this room who keep the work of Let's Win alive and who honor my mother's memory with their dedication to this fight.
I so wish I didn't have to be here tonight. I so wish we all didn't. But through that heartache, I am blessed to be around each of you. Each of you battling, each of you treating, each of you caring. There is a whole new family that my family has been awakened to greet. When my brother Steve was diagnosed 2 years ago, I didn't know where to turn. It was like being in darkness with vertigo. So I turned to my friend Katie Kirk. And she in turn brought us to this place where we weren't so much overwhelmed with heartache anymore, but we were overwhelmed by goodness. So that is my introduction of Katie Kirk. Her legacy will go far beyond anything we've ever watched on television, as remarkable as it is. Her legacy will be lives saved, people motivated, science reimagined, and a much better world tomorrow than it is today. So please welcome my friend Kate.
Okay, hi everyone. Dave is usually really funny, but he's also so dear and so sensitive and caring and compassionate. And I don't know about you, but that was incredibly moving. And I'm just glad I was able to help. Hi. I was supposed to be the surprise tonight, but Allyson and I ran into each other in the bathroom. She was surprised. She cried. But there's not going to be this big dramatic moment that I envisioned when I made everyone not tell Allyson that I was going to be here tonight. I also committed to another event, so I'm not ridiculously overdressed. It's a black tie situation, so, and I apologize that I didn't wear purple either. Nights like these, I think we all have such mixed emotions because we're reminded, of course, about why we're here, and we're reminded of the people who can't be here. And of course, for me, it's my sister Emily, who passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2002, just a few years after I lost my husband Jay to colon cancer. So I know that we all are a member of this new family. Some of us have lost people we love dearly, like Anne. Some of us are in the fight, and we're in there with you. And some of you are survivors. So I'm just happy, so happy to see you all, and so appreciate your support of this extraordinary organization. Let's Win, as you know, plays a critical role in amplifying the work of cancer researchers by sharing knowledge through an online platform that connects patients and doctors. And in so many ways, Let's Win dovetails perfectly with what we do at Stand Up to Cancer, an organization that I founded 10 years ago. From the very beginning, see Dave making awful clapped. My nose is running. From the very beginning, our funding model has encouraged collaboration instead of competition among all the brilliant scientists that are working so hard to come up with better treatments for a whole myriad of cancers, including pancreatic cancer. And Let's Win provides a very powerful way to do that Over the past 10 years, one of the strongest partnerships that Stand Up to Cancer has been forged with the Lustgarten Foundation. They're one of our most generous collaborators and the fiercest advocate for those who are battling pancreatic cancer. So together, Stand Up and Lustgarten form the Pancreatic Cancer Collective, which is currently funding 200 investigators at 300 research centers across the country. But great ideas like Let's Win don't work without great doctors to use them. And there's no one more deserving of the honor we bestow tonight than Dr. Allyson Ocean. Those of us here, I think those of us here tonight, including Jordan, so cute, sorry, so hot, represent a much larger group of people who know and love Allyson. And we mean love, all caps. You love her as a doctor, you love her as a person, and in fact, I think you love her very being. Because in that little body is one tough doctor who will not be intimidated by cancer, and she won't allow her patients to be either. Allyson is filled with encyclopedic knowledge and endless passion for science, boundless energy, and a heart big enough to care deeply and profoundly for every single one of her patients and their families. That relationship, I know, and so many of you know, means everything, when literally everything is on the line. Because we all know it's not just about the medicine or about the institution where you're being treated. It's really about the person you entrust with your care at your most fragile moment. The warm compassion, encouragement, and understanding of just a single human being can be so critical to healing and to caring for patients and their family. And those ingredients, I think, have always been a part of Allyson's DNA, and aren't we the lucky beneficiaries? So let's take a look at a special tribute video featuring people who know that no matter how rough the waters or stormy the weather, very appropriate for tonight, this is one ocean who always provides a safe harbor for those who need it the most. Is that clever?
I've known Dr. Ocean for about 13 years. She treated my brother. We are co-founders of a charity called Michael's Mission.
I met her initially when we were both fellows.
Allyson Ocean is my medical oncologist.
I've known Dr. Ocean my whole life.
My father and my dad with pancreatic cancer. And we went all over the world to try to figure out who was best. My mother, my father, and I said, this is who we want to treat my dad. I always felt like I was her only patient. I always felt like she was as engaged in the human dimension of my experience as she was in the medical one.
My mom is special as a doctor because she treats people and saves other people's lives. My mom is special as a mom because she's the best mom I could ever have.
Allyson has an unbelievable spirit, and she doesn't let the facts of what this disease is bring down that spirit. I came to Allyson Ocean looking for a miracle. I found a friend.
She started off being our doctor, and she became really a family, part of our family.
I asked Allyson once, I said, God, your life has got to be really tough because the people that you treat are really sick and the prognosis aren't good. How do you do this? And she looked at me in the eye and she goes, every day I get to help people.
She is the kindest, sweetest, most compassionate woman and physician that I perhaps have ever met in my life.
I love her so much.
Allyson, please come up and accept this award for not only your incredible work, but truly for your incredible heart. Congratulations.
Does this suit make me look fat?
Thank you all so much for this very special honor. Over the course of my career, it's become increasingly important to me to step out of my office, to advocate for my patients, whether by partnering with other experts to share information or finding ways to get that information to patients. So when Anne Glauber asked me if I would help her change the conversation about pancreatic cancer, I was all in. It was Anne's incredible vision, along with the unending support of our co-founders, Willa Shallett, Carrie Kaplan, Cindy Gavin, and the Lustgarten Foundation, that led to the creation of this unique crowdsourcing initiative. As we, researchers and doctors, advance the science of pancreatic cancer, Let's Win works alongside us, giving more patients and families access to what we are learning, and is making a difference to patients, some whom have tried new treatment approaches or clinical trials and are here with us tonight. I will continue to be an advocate, to step out of my office and reach out to connect patients with the latest science. It is the best way to make a difference. Thank you to our esteemed Scientific Advisory Board, to our dedicated Let's Win board and staff, science writers, special advisors, and to Cindy, our founding executive director. Let's Win is winning because of all of you. Thank you, Lily and Dave Glauber, for being a part of Let's Win and promoting your mother's legacy. Thank you to my Weill Cornell NYP colleagues for your generous support. Thank you to Dave, to Katie. It was a total surprise that you were here, and it means the world to me. And I don't know what else to say other than thank you. And this wasn't in my speech because I didn't know you were here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to Josh, to Jordan, my parents and family, my sisters and sister-in-law and brother-in-laws, and my in-laws, and everyone, all my family, my cousin, everybody, my niece and nephew, everybody for supporting me and encouraging me to follow my dreams. On behalf of patients everywhere, thank you to our sponsors, to everyone here tonight. Let's win together. Thank you.
So before we conclude, through the eyes of another brilliant and visionary patient, Juliette Jamon brings hope and inspiration to patients and families through our Let's Win Survivors video series. Thanks to the extraordinary generosity of the Flora Family Foundation, I'm proud to share the premiere of our Let's Win Survivors series, Season 2.
My initial reaction when I found out I had pancreatic cancer was surprise.
We all cried when we saw the doctor and they told me that I had 1 year to live.
I was told that my chances were not very good. The literature that's out there contributes to the belief that this is the worst thing that can happen to a person.
I'm Cindy Gavin, founding executive director of Let's Win. Let's Win was born in May 2016 as an unprecedented platform to connect doctors, patients, and researchers with the latest science-driven treatment options for pancreatic cancer.
These cancer hospitals, they felt so sorry for me and they were going to help me die.
Last year, we launched a video series which features long-term survivors of pancreatic cancer.
Julia Gimon was my older sister. When she was diagnosed, went on the internet and was horrified. She thought about the language, how negative it is, and she wanted to shift that narrative. She found that there were some actually good stories and wanted to know how come people don't hear these good stories. And she had this idea of a video series.
The feedback was overwhelmingly positive and provided hope and inspiration to so many families. We are thrilled to be launching Let's Win Survivors Year 2. In the upcoming year, you will not only meet more survivors, but you will have the opportunity to meet the doctors and the researchers who are working tirelessly to create new and better treatment options for pancreatic cancer patients.
There's no question that research being conducted by laboratories is having a real impact on patients' lives.
When I started working on pancreatic cancer research, there were very few people that were really dedicated to this problem.
There were fewer than 12 researchers in the entire country doing anything on pancreatic cancer. Today we can say that there's over 1,000.
Now there are actually targeted approaches that can help patients live for many years when before they would only live for a few months.
We have survivors now, not just 1-year survivors or 2-year survivors, but we're seeing people living for 5, 10, even 15 or more years.
I'm a 3-year survivor of pancreatic cancer.
I've survived stage 4 pancreatic cancer for over 6 years now.
I'm a 6-year pancreatic cancer survivor.
I'm a 7-year survivor of pancreatic cancer.
I was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer 10 years ago.
11-year pancreatic cancer survivor.
I'm a 15-year pancreatic cancer survivor.
I'm a 17-year pancreatic cancer survivor.
I'm an 18-year survivor of pancreatic cancer.
Let's Win Survivors is changing the narrative around pancreatic cancer.
Now, when someone gets diagnosed, they can go online, they can see Let's Win, they can click, they can hear the story, and they can think, wow, I have a chance.
Instead of seeing grave statistics, they see life, they see hope, they see survivors.
They are the evidence that pancreatic cancer is not a death sentence.
This is not a death sentence. What you have to do is fight.
I took stock in the situation and said to myself, oh, what do I have to die for? And the answer was nothing. But what do I have to live for? It was plenty.
You can do this, and you know you can do this. It's one foot in front of the other. You're going to be able to handle this.
I wake up every morning and I give thanks that I still have one more day.
That says it all. That explains why tonight, at the end, we're all blessed to be here. So I want to thank each and every one of you, supporters, battlers, friends, family, those new to this fight, those who have been fighting for 5, 10, and 15 years. And there's no reason why we shouldn't all walk out of here and say, it's time. Let's win. So thank you so much for being here. We have a great evening. No one has to rush out except me. But I'll see you at 11 o'clock for the very latest on the storm system on Route 4 New York. Good night. Thank you, everybody.